I was shown to the ice boat racing server Frostex. This would be the start of my boat racing journey, and it's been a year since then when I'm posting this video. I joined the server Saturday, March 5th, and at the time, the spawn location would be on the track Block 2. But I wanted to go to a different one, and we headed to Priority 1. After racing there for maybe an hour or so, and I recording the experience, I would continue the next week trying and recording every track on the server and getting semi-decent for just a week of boat racing. As per usual, those videos were deleted, and the only video that made it through from that time was my first ever boat racing experience, which I posted on May 27th, close to 4 months after I started my boat racing. The only other video that made it through was the only working YouTube short I made, as the other attempts did not go into the shorts category and they acted as normal videos. Anyway, this short was about a new laptop I got, which I posted on June 19th. I got this laptop around March 20th, and again, took about 4 months to get onto YouTube. This new laptop was great, as you can see how bad the first video quality was. It has now been 22 days of boat racing, and I'm obviously still bad. This day was the first time I saw a real race happen. The league FC1 hosted the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix on the Frostex server. I just so happened to be on the server at the time, which I got to see the race, and this introduced me to races and showed me how much more there was other than just Frostex that I didn't know was there. After a while, I decided I would attempt to join a league after seeing how fun races could be. The sign was not that hard, as I found a Blue Leader video about different leagues. It seemed like MRA was the best one, as it was based around rookies, and it had some cool pit systems. I joined Nuki on Ferrari and attended the first race at Hungarian. I would end up hardly knowing how the race worked and had no teammate or pit. Figment and Smash would come to rescue me, helping me to understand somewhat better of how everything worked, and assisted me in pitting. After the first race, which was a ton of fun, I met Haragon while practicing for Canada, which was the next race on the schedule. With just a few days left until the next race, Haragon showed me to boat camp. This race would be a disaster though, as no one was there to run it, and I had to even help with some of the quali. The race would be delayed till the next day and was once again a fun race, but this time I played 7th on the board. After Canada, I considered joining more leagues after how fun MRA was. Evil Scientist was able to show me to MBC, which I joined. I also heard some talk about BRWC, which I joined the Rookie League. The next race weekend, I raced about 3 races, 1 for each league. I continued these races another 4 race weekends before making it to MGK. MGK was a league I made, but to better understand things we need to hop back to January 4th, 2022 before I even started racing. This was the day I bought a server from Apex Hosting. My plan was to make an SMP friends could join, and I could be able to maybe make even videos about it. This quickly went downhill as I was not able to set up, and turned into a server with just a bunch of cool builds. Going to April and May, I wanted to make a similar server to Frostex. I used the NetherCube Parkour, a plugin, which could be used to time your laps. This was difficult to set up, and thanks to LaserSloth, I was able to fully set it up and understand it a fair bit. Past this, I worked on a semi-water-based track, which turned out terrible and I scratched the full idea of any tracks. This leads to just more builds lying around the server. During July, I was on the MBC build server with Evil Scientist again, this time making a go-kart track in the middle of Blodell. This would spark a new passion for mini boat racing tracks. I ended up planning and making a full league based around go-kart tracks. I once again used my server as a base for this, and I was able to set up a decently working small tracks. These tracks would be mostly command based, except for the quali would be NetherCube Parkour based. After a short season with that, Pilcore provided me with a better Pebblehost server after I was already planning on making a switch to Pebblehost. This season would go much better, and I used Makuzen's timing system plugin. This season would have a fair bit more drivers, better tracks, and I started wanting to make some Mario Kart tracks even. I was planning on having a Season 3 for MGK after this, but that won't be happening from the terribly low number of people racing, and I would have to set up another server if I wanted to keep it going, which wouldn't be too hard, but I don't see the worth in running another season like this. On August 13th of 2022, I raced in BRWC again, but this time I got a spot to race as a reserve for someone in League C. Just a little while past that, on September 3rd, I got a space to race in League B as well for a race. During this time period, I raced in MBC, I hosted MGK, and Emory. Emory was different. I was now on McLaren, and the league turned to a mess, which I resulted in leaving at this time. BCC also happened during this time, which was an amazing but long race. It took until October 2nd for a new thing to pop up. FC1. This was the first league I saw a race happen in, but I was now racing in. Near this time, I also started quali for off-season as well. In the end, I missed off-season just by a bit, but who knows, maybe 2024. I am a reserve for off-season though, but I've not yet got to do a race. Between the end of off-season quali until now, it's mostly been the same, with BRWC, the last bits of MGK, and MBC. In this time, I was also able to secure a spot in League B of BRWC as a racer and reserve for League A on a team. I also got into Blind Attack with Zekra as a teammate. I also got offered a position for an FC1 team for the next season, which I have joined. I raced on Laser Sloth's world's longest course and recorded over 8 hours of footage on it. I was planning on editing it into one big time lapse and then a highlights video. And once I'm finished editing, just record a second part of it to add on to the end of that video with the new stuff he added. But I ain't near done any part of that, so good luck if that video will happen in the next decade or not. It's been nearing a year of that even, and I'm not even near halfway done, so overall, I've gotten a lot better at boat racing, but recently it's been going downhill with my league and some other things. So good luck to me lasting until it's been 2 years. What has happened video.